Good afternoon on what is a cold, bright and sunny day. It is Wednesday, December the 6th. I've got a nice hot cup of tea. And a box to continue unboxing. And what I'm going to pull out of here is what board games means to me. Tales from the Tabletop, essays, anecdotes and recollections from players, designers and fans, including Reiner, Knizia, Ian Livingstone, Susan McKinley-Ross, and many more, with illustrations by John Kovalic. So, remember the last game you played. Maybe you remember the first one too. If you love games, or know someone who does, you'll know that board games today form a part of people's lives every bit as cherished as music, movies, books, or sports. Board games have become staples of popular culture around which we live our lives and through which we navigate and remember many of life's ups and downs. From chess and checkers to Catan and Carcassonne, board games bring people together and touch lives in unlikely and surprising ways. In this charming volume, authors include leading industry professionals and lifelong gamers from all walks of life tell us in their own words what board games means to them. From stories of friends and loved ones met through games to how to came to make careers and livelihoods out of them. From the story of how an academic strike in Nigeria led to the founding of the first board games convention in sub-Saharan Africa, to how board games helped one autistic child discover his dream job, the essays in this volume lift the lid on how games have changed lives in the most remarkable ways. Warm and witty, heartening and heartfelt, the 28 personal accounts that make up the diverse collection bring together authors, artists, designers, parents, academics, an actor, a librarian, and more to offer remarkable insight into just why board games mean so much to so many. So, this is published by Aconyte Books, part of the Play to Win series, and it is it's not quite a follow-on to Everyone Wins, which was James Wallis's history of the Spiel des Jahres, which came out last year and was a really good read and an absolute must-have for your board games aficionado. Anybody who's got an interest in certainly in playing board games and the history of board games definitely wanted this book. So this one though is going to be much more personal, and what it echoes, my first reaction was, hold on a minute, this is going to be a bit like the two books that Green Ronin published over a decade ago now, which was the 100 Best Hobby Games and the 100 Best Family Games, which presents essentially 200 essays on favourite board games. And it's kind of similar format, but this looks as if it's going to be much more from a personal point of view and show how it changed people's attitudes and lives through the play of board games. So we open up and we've got a full list of the contributors in there. And sadly, this is this. Like I say, this sadly this is a paperback, not the softback, not a hardback, and also available to in the Play to Win series. Everybody Wins: 4 Decades of the Greatest Board Games Ever Made. That's the book I've already mentioned. I've already done a review of that. It's a very good read. A proper contents page there. Quick note from the editor. Full contents page. Introduction. And the first section is life, and there we can see John Kovalic's artwork, best known for Thorpe Tower, but here we start off with Geoff Engelstein and the voice of the mummy, and this is an interesting choice. It's an MB Games one, not one I know. That can be interesting to read about, I think, because the other thing about it is that what you're reading about is games you know about, but how they affected people. And this is quite short. So here we go. 1 page, 2 and 3 pages, 4 pages, and we're done. And a quick, basically, portrait, thumbnail, description, or basically bibliography of the contributor. Picture a scene, and this one I basically is going to be the one set in Nigeria. And that's going to be an interesting. That's going to be an interesting read, because we don't hear very much about board games being played outside of America, or North America, and Europe. There is a thriving hobby, and some of it has begun to sort of like, trickle into our hobby and be influenced. Of course, the Japanese board games, especially those ones from Oink Games, have made a big impact, and the other ones before that. John Kovalic's own contribution, talking about Escape from Colditz, which is a classic game from the 1970s. Not necessarily a great design, but it's heavily thematic. And this one is heavily annotated. You've got footnotes at the bottom there. And then he's cheating, because he's actually got another game in there, Panzer 44, and a more fulsome piece of artwork from him. And then basically just flip through, see what we've got. Games of Life from Matt Forbeck, designer of Brave New World and the recent Marvel Multiverse role-playing game. And he talks about, let's have a look, a football-related game, I suspect. Can't see which one easily. And then we move on to people. Gav Thorpe, Friend in a Box. It would be nice if there sort of been a few more illustrations, but okay. He's actually talking about multiple games, like top 5 games most 9-year-olds in 2023 haven't played. There we go, just sort of like semi-random list. How to talk to people you love, step 1, Gabriela, Santiago. Board games equal family time, Will McDermott. And they do, playing games with family, playing games with friends. And the thing is, what's great is that there are better games to play than Monopoly or Scrabble, and so on. Far more interesting and enjoyable board games. The Gamer Gene, James Wallis, of course. Then Places, talking about board games sort of like related to places, and you've got sort of like a number of different sort of like mentions here: Carcassonne, Euphrates, Tigris and Euphrates, Puerto Rico, and Catan, of course not being a real place. Polar Bear, Tornado Potato, Calvin Wong Z Loon. I apologise if I get that wrong. Roll and Move, again, piece by the editor, Gregory. The Magic Circle by Matt Coward-Gibbs. Gateways to Gaming, Jervis Johnson, designer at Games Workshop, and he is looking. His example is Wildlife White Spears Games. Where Should We Play? And then again, this is returning to Africa. Ticket to Read, Jenn Bartlett. Her board game library now. I'll move on to Play. Playing Design has got an interview with Reiner Knizia, who has sort of like more 700 design credits to his name. Making connections. Games make memories. Board games are a story, not a destination. Alan Stroud. Brain Games by Lynn Potyen. Power of Play, Ian Livingstone, noted designer and publisher here in the UK, of course. Winning and Losing, Learning the Rules, Keeping Score, More Than a Game on the Table, Reflections on a Shiny Thing, in a Shiny Thing, Evil Stevie looks at Evil Stevie. That's for Steve Jackson, that's the American Steve Jackson, I very much respect. That looks to be either something like Color Wars or Ogre, something like that, I can't quite see. Hugs to My Childhood Self, for Tessa Ali Scott. And so on. And then we've got adverts from further Aconyte books, because Aconyte books publishes a lot of content related to particular role-playing intellectual properties, and of course, first book in a series, Everybody Wins, and that is what board games mean to me from Aconyte books. I think it's going to be an interesting read, a much more personal introduction to the subject of board games and reflections upon the subject. But I think, board game players will appreciate reading. Well, hope you've enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you have, then please do click on the like button down below. And of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, then please feel free to add those below. And of course, if you want to be alerted to get more unboxings in the Nook, where you'll see me out here with a box containing a book or game, which I will unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea. Then please do click on the subscribe button down below. Thanks again for watching. I'll be back again soon with another unboxing in the Nook very soon. Bye for now.